Здравейте, добър вечер!
Hello!
Hello!
Докато всички се включват, ще използвам възможността да се представя. Казвам се Петя Ламбова и съм част от екипа на Агенция за образование в чужбина Skylines, които са и официален представител на Istituto Europeo di Design. Днешната среща е с цел да ви запознаем с структурата на програмите, възможностите, които има пред вас да изучавате креативни дисциплини в Istituto Europeo di Design, както и какви са нужните документи за кандидатстване, активни стипендии, отстъпки за записване сравнително рано. Днес презентацията ще бъде от две части, като първата ще бъде проведена от Марта Малконтенти, която е регионален менеджер на Istituto Europeo di Design, а втората, вече креативна част, ще бъде проведена от Франческа Перани, която е професор в Istituto Europeo di Design, архитект и дизайнер. Тя ще даде много ценни съвети и насоки при изготвянето на портфолио, креативен проект и как всъщност да подготвите своята артистична задача, когато кандидатствате за стипендия. Ще се радвам да чуем и вашите въпроси в чат секцията. В края на презентацията ще ви отговорим на всички. Надявам се да бъде интересна и очакваме вашите въпроси. Сега давам думата на Марта. Марта, it is you now.
Great. And thank you very much, Petya, for the introduction, even if I couldn't understand, of course, just some words. And thank you, all of you who are here today for our presentation. So let's start. I will share my screen or my presentation. So, and let's kick off actually with a quick overview of ID. What ID is and how our academic offer is composed. So, as you probably know, ID is a 100% made in Italy international network of education operating in the fields of training and research for more than 50 years. For more than 50 years, actually, we have been launching innovative programs, different kinds of programs in the following areas. In the area of design, by offering courses such as interior design, product design, transportation design. In fashion, by developing courses such as fashion design, fashion styling, fashion marketing, jewelry design, and so on. The area of visual arts and communication, with courses like graphic design, photography, animation, and so on. But also in the field of communication and management, by offering courses in communication design, in brand management, in digital marketing, and many more. And finally, in the area of art and restoration, by offering courses such as restoration, arts management, fine arts, and so on. So I mentioned that we do offer different kinds of courses. So within each of these areas, which are the fields of study where we operate, we do offer different kinds of programs that you can choose among. We offer undergraduate courses that can be accessed after gaining a secondary school diploma. We offer also postgraduate or master courses that can be accessed after gaining a bachelor's degree course in a similar field. But we will go more in depth in both of these categories in a while. We also offer foundation courses, which are preparatory courses. If you miss some important requirements to get into the undergraduate course, or if you still need an orientation year, let's say, among the different disciplines of design. Finally, we offer shorter courses, namely summer programs, which take place, of course, in the summer, semester and year abroad courses, which, as the name suggests, may last either one semester or the whole academic year. And finally, continuing education programs, which are the ones mainly targeted to professionals who are already working in the field. So you can see that the academic offer of ID is very rich, it's very, fragmented, let's say. So if you want to apply to ID, you have to orientate yourself in the ID universe, and you have to take into consideration different aspects. So we have seen the field of study, we have seen the typology, of course, but you can also choose among our different campuses, because as you probably know, ID is present in 12 different locations, 12 different amazing cities in 3 countries, Italy, Spain, and Brazil. And studying and living in Milan, for example, is different than studying and living in Barcelona or in Rome. So even choosing the city is an important aspect in your choice. Then you can choose in which language to study. Because you must be aware of the fact that a great part of our academic offer is offered in English language. So if you don't know any Italian or any Spanish, don't worry. We offer English taught programs in order to allow international students like you to join us. But we also offer courses in Italian or Spanish. So you also have the choice. So you see that different aspects, different opportunities. How can you orientate yourself in making the best choice, the choice that is the best one for your future? Here, well, actually over there in Bulgaria, you can rely on the help and the services provided by Skylines, which is our official partner.
Thank you, Marta. Отново взимам аз думата, за да кажа още мъничко за това какво правим ние като официален представител на Skylines и всъщност каква е моята отговорна, но в същото време изключително приятна задача е работата с креативни, млади кандидати, каквито сте вие. Ние сме с вас през целия процес, от избора на програма и кампус, през кандидат-студентския процес, подготовка на документи, изготвяне на портфолио и мотивационно писмо, записване, но дори преди това да видим кога ще бъде най-удачният момент за кандидатстване, дали ще бъде стипендия, дали ще бъде отстъпка за ранно записване. Това заедно ще следим като процес. Самото кандидатстване, записването до заминаването ви в учебното заведение. През целият този процес ние сме с вас, като нашите услуги са напълно безплатни, така че с радост съдействаме на всеки, който има нужда от това и ще се радваме да помогнем.
Great, thank you, Petya. How do you say thank you in Bulgarian?
Благодаря.
Благодаря. Благодаря. So, and we want to give you, because we have invited a lot of students, so you may be interested in an undergraduate course, in a master course. In a while, we will ask you which kind of course are you interested in, but we want to give, first of all, some general information regarding the admission process to all our courses, because all the course typologies, even if they are completely different from one another, they do share some common features in the application process. First of all, in any case, you will need to submit your application documents, which are specifically an admission form, a copy of your passport or identity card, your secondary school certificate if you already graduated from high school. Otherwise, you can submit your transcripts from the school you are attending if you are in the last year, a letter of motivation, and then additional application documents when and where required. In the next few slides, we will see which these additional documents can be. Then you will be evaluated as regards the level of the language in which the course is taught. So if you are going to apply for a course taught in English, you will be evaluated regarding your English language level. So again, don't worry about the Italian or the Spanish. In any case, this language assessment test will be done on Skype actually it will be carried out by one of our language professors. And in any case, the level required in order to access our courses is B2. Then you will need to pass an admission interview or motivational interview with either the coordinator of the course you are applying for or one of our admission advisors. The admission interview will be about your motivations for joining the course that you have chosen. You will really need to show that you are highly interested in this field of study, but also express which your expectations are regarding the course, what do you expect from the course, what can you bring to the course as well, and what are your expectations regarding your future career. Last but not least, just in case you want to apply for an official undergraduate course in Spain called Título Superior, you will need to take an additional admission exam, which takes place either in Barcelona or in Madrid, where our campuses are, either in July or in September. So this is something that is not associated with IED, actually, but it is required by the Ministry of Education of Spain. But don't worry too much about that now. I mean, don't feel scared. We will definitely help you. Our admission team of Spain, of IED Spain, will help you with a detailed preparation for accessing and passing successfully this exam. I promise you to go more in depth into the undergraduate and the postgraduate programs. Because they differ. I mean, we offer within each of these typologies, we offer different kinds of programs that release to students different kinds of titles. So we have just seen for Spain that we do offer undergraduate courses that are officially accredited by the Ministry of University. You see here on the left, it's the Título Superior. They envisage the admission test and they last 4 years. We also offer, of course, official accredited bachelor's degree courses in our campuses in Italy. Here, the official naming is first level academic diploma. And differently from Spain, they don't last 4 years, but 3 years. In Spain, we also offer a special, let's say, a special category of undergraduate courses, which are the Bachelor of Arts with Honors, or BAH. Why special? Because they are validated by the University of Westminster of London, and they last 3 years. Finally, in both Italy and Spain, we offer undergraduate courses that last 3 years and that release an IED diploma, which is, let's say, our own kind of undergraduate degree. Then, as regards the postgraduate or master courses that can be accessed after obtaining a bachelor's degree in a similar field or and relevant experience, work experience in that field, we offer 3 different kinds of master programs. Just in Spain, we offer, again, a special category of masters in English language, which are the Masters of Design and Innovation. In Italy, we offer officially accredited master programs, which are called first level master courses. And finally, both in Italy and Spain, as we saw for the undergraduate courses, also at the master level, we offer IED master programs. So, but after giving this overview of these course typologies, I am very curious to see how many of you are interested in undergraduate programs, how many in master, and in other kinds of courses. So I kindly ask you, in 1 second, you will see a window pop up. So if you can please click and tell me which program level are you interested in, if it's a master, a bachelor's, or other, so that we can also focus more our attention on the kind of course depending on your interests. Wow, I can see a lot of bachelors, some master also. Let's wait a few seconds so that all of you can vote. Okay, let's stop the poll. And here we are. We have the vast majority of you who are interested in a bachelor's degree. Great. Few of you interested in a master program. And actually for the bachelor's degree, interested students, it's great because in the end, we will also talk about the undergraduate scholarship competition, which is now going on. Thank you all of you for answering. Now let's go ahead. If I can, okay, great. So we have seen different kinds of undergraduate programs and master programs. They differ also in terms of those additional application requirements that I mentioned earlier. Because, for example, if you want to apply for an undergraduate course, official undergraduate course, so Titolo Superiore in Spain or academic diploma in Italy, you will have to develop, besides the letter of motivation, the transcripts and so on, you will have to develop a creative portfolio. We don't go now too in depth into this because the second part of the presentation carried out by Francesca will be specifically dedicated to this. And actually it won't be this kind of boring institutional presentation. It will be amazing, very interesting and creative indeed. And it will give you specific guidelines and ideas on how you can structure a good portfolio. But also another option that you have if you are applying just for Italy, instead of the creative portfolio, which is a creative presentation of yourself with your different creative skills that you may have, you can develop a project assignment, which is a project. It's still a creative work, but it will need to follow some specific guidelines, some given a specific topic that IED will give you. But we will, go more in depth in the Q&A, or when you decide to apply, of course, we will give you more details about everything. Then, as regards the BAH, so the Bachelor of Arts with Honors that we offer in Spain, considering that they are validated by Westminster, as you can imagine, they have additional special requirements required by the University of Westminster. So for some of these courses, you will need to develop a professional portfolio. We call it professional because it is still a creative portfolio, but actually it must be at a higher level, let's say, because you must show that you have already some technical skills in the field of the course that you are applying for. Or for other courses of the typology BAH, you won't need to develop an advanced portfolio, but a 50-word essay on a specific topic. Again, we will give you some suggestions in case you decide to apply for one of these courses. But in these courses, it is required to show in the essay not so much, let's say, the creative skills, but more the critical thinking, the problem-solving skills, and this kind of hard and soft skills, let's say. Finally, for all the BAH courses that we offer, the University of Westminster also requires an additional proof of English language knowledge. So our English language assessment test is not enough in this sense. You will need to submit an IELTS certificate with an overall score of 6.0. Finally, for those few of you who are interested in a master program, you may wonder which of these requirements apply to the masters. Well, the professional portfolio. So if you apply for a master course at IED, you will be required to show that you have already gained some specific and technical skills and knowledge in the field where you want to study. You will need to develop this, to show this through a portfolio indeed. These are some, let's say, the questions that we usually receive from our applicants. When should I start the admission process? First of all, So be aware that our admissions open usually 1 year in advance with respect to the intake. So for example, for the bachelor's degree courses starting next October, we have already opened the applications. And we work with rolling applications. So you can apply and get admitted any time, any day, basically, of the year. But don't, we always suggest applying as soon as you can, because all our courses have a limited number of places. So you also have to take this into consideration when talking about the timing of your application. And also be aware that we do offer a lot of financial aid opportunities. We will see them in a while. And they usually have a special timing. So this is also something to consider. How long the admission process usually takes? Well, it depends actually a lot on you, because it is a dynamic process where you interact with us, with our admission staff, of course, with the Skylines, that is the medium of connection. Depending on how fast you are in submitting the documents, in getting ready for the interviews, the admission process may take from a few days until a few weeks. We will tell you if you have been considered eligible for the course immediately after you have completed the admission process. So when do you have to officialize your enrollment in ID to confirm your place? As soon as you want, basically, when you are sure that you want to enroll in this course. And for the same reasons that I outlined earlier, the fact that we have a limited number of places and that financial aid opportunities have special timing, take into consideration that it's never too soon. So you can get enrolled even 1 day after getting admitted in December, let's say, for the October intake. In order to secure your spot in the class and officially become an IED student, you will need to pay for an enrollment fee. So this slide is to show you our general fee structure. Our fees are yearly, so they must be paid per year. They are divided into 2 installments or 2 payments. The enrollment fee, as I said, which is a fixed amount, so it is always the same one. Whereas the tuition fee, which is the second payment that you will need to make, is a variable amount. It must be paid before or at the start of the course. And actually, as I said, it is variable. Why? Because we can apply to the tuition fee different kinds of financial aid opportunities that will allow you to obtain a reduction of the standard, let's say, tuition fee. Which are these financial aid opportunities? Again, we have grouped them according to the country and the course typology. For Italy and Spain, for both the undergraduate and the master courses, we offer every year early bird promotions, which depend on the timing of the application. So if you apply in advance, you can get a reduction of the tuition fee because of that. We offer scholarship competitions, very, very important, and we are here for that today also. They are valid for undergraduate courses, but also for master. We launch scholarship competitions for both kinds of courses. And finally, we also work in collaboration with a European fund called FINS, which helps students from European countries who want to study in a European country, among which Italy or Spain, so with us, by providing loans. So you can also rely on this opportunity. Then it's very important to know that just for the undergraduate courses in Italy, we give the possibility to obtain a reduction of the tuition fee depending on the family's income and the financial situation, which will be calculated through this particular document called ISEU declaration. And finally, for Spain, for both the undergraduate and the master courses, there isn't the possibility to have this reduction like in Italy, but we will help you by giving you the possibility to pay for the tuition fee in multiple installments. Maybe, Petja, here you want to add something to reassure about this complicated.
Както разбрахте, макар и частно учебно заведение, Иstituto Europeo di Design дава възможност на студентите от Европейския съюз, които искат да започнат бакалавърска програма в Италия, да предоставят конкретен набор от документи, с които могат драстично да намалят таксата си за обучение. За всеки кандидат се разглежда индивидуалната семейна ситуация и спрямо нея подготвяме нужните документи. Отново тук Skylines съдейства при изготвянето на пълния пакет, като в индивидуални срещи с кандидатите и техните семейства обсъждаме каква е ситуацията и съответно подготвяме релевантните документи, които подаваме в срок. Като българските студенти винаги плащат една от най-ниските такси за обучение, така че това е една прекрасна възможност да получите висококачествено висше образование в частна институция с сравнително ниска такса за обучение.
Great. And considering that we have seen differences and common aspects between the courses in Italy and courses in Spain, I also wanted to ask you, which country are you more oriented to, if it's Italy or Spain? So here we go, let's see. So you will be just asked to, which country are you interested in, if Italy or Spain? Okay, I see lots of answers coming up. Great. Well, vast majority of you are interested in Italy. Let's share the results. Perfect. So thank you once again for replying, and we will take this, of course, into consideration. Finally, very last pieces of information of this first part, the undergraduate scholarship competition, which is now going on and which is an amazing opportunity to grab if you are attending the last year of high school. You have time to apply for the scholarship competition until the 10th of January, so save the date. What will you need to do until this deadline? You will need to register online, of course, through the help of Skylines, and submit some application documents. You see that most of them are the same ones which are required for the standard application, let's say. What differs is the scholarship project. So in order to be evaluated for the scholarship competition and win the scholarship that will cover 50% of the tuition fee amount, you will need to develop a specific project based on a brief that ID gives you. So know that everything that you're going to listen in a few minutes from Francesca will be very useful to you in order to structure your project, to have ideas on how you can develop your creativity in a project or in your portfolio. But you will need to focus a lot and develop indeed your project following the brief. You can find the full brief on our website. It's quite long, so of course we cannot go through it now. But the main topic, the main concept that you will need to work on is hybridization. Hybridization meant as a dynamic process that has always and will always allow to the society in general and the fields of art and design to grow, to innovate themselves. And how is this possible? It is possible thanks to a contamination of different categories, transformation of concepts, of ideas, of styles. And there you can find plenty of examples of designers, of great artists or masters of design indeed, that have developed something unique through some kind of hybridization. So you will need to choose one or more of these examples of designers that you think applied, let's say, this concept of hybridization in their work. You will need to focus on the field of study that you have chosen. So it's important to, let's say, narrow the scope of your research and your project to the specific field that you are applying for. So interior design, if you're applying for the course in interior design, fashion styling, if you're applying for fashion stylist, and so on. And you will need to present and comment on your ideas through your own project. So you will need to develop a creative work with all of these in mind. And giving an example also of what hybridization is for you and how do you feel that your work can be influenced by this master of design that you have chosen. So as regards, I mean, if you have further questions about the scholarship competition, we can also go through them later on, because now it's time to give the floor to Francesca. But actually, before that, I would like to ask you still something. So what I want to ask you is, let's see, which area are you interested in? Because we have talked a lot about the different areas where we operate. So you can choose among design, fashion, visual arts, and management and communication. Here I can imagine more, let's say, split results. Let's see, let's wait for another few seconds. Okay, great. Well, most of you are interested in design. 23% in fashion and 10% in visual communications. So perfect. Thank you very, very much once again for participating. And now I will leave the floor to Francesca, who will give you her own very creative and very engaging insights about how you can realize a good portfolio for your application.
Hi. Okay, hi. Thanks for having me. And I will start sharing my screen so that we can see the presentation that I prepared for you. 1 second. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay. So today I'm going to show you some portfolio, and this portfolio in particular, they come from YED students. So these students were applying for the master at YED Design or for the bachelor. But some of these you will see, they are very elaborate and they are the final results of the entire courses that they attended at IED in Milan specifically. But so you will see different activities, fashion design, as well as illustration, as graphic designer and interior design. But you only have to take it as an inspiration. I introduced myself, but I've been already introduced. I'm an architect, but I'm also a graphic designer. So I always combine these two things. But I'm also a teacher at YED since 10 years. And I've been teaching at the master courses in fashion design and interior design courses, but also in the bachelor courses. So here you can see some photos of the spaces we share in IED Milan. Today, we're going to talk about portfolio, and portfolio is a great opportunity that you have to start showing off your talent. And even if you didn't do so many projects yet, you can still make it very creative. So no matter how many projects you want to display, but you can still create an aesthetically designed document that can still approach to the school and show off you're willing to start a new career or a new educational program. So first of all, the portfolio is really the first moment where you can self-brand yourself. So it's the first moment where you can sell yourself as a creative, as a person. And of course, it's going to be important that you show also something unique about yourself. So we are all very different, and it's important to show a little bit of this uniqueness. So you is normally something that you have to adapt to different kind of clients. So if you're looking for a job, you're gonna create it in a certain way. If you are going for big companies, or if you're going for small companies, if you're applying for a scholarship, you will do it in a different way. So you always have to think that the portfolio will change over the years, and it depends the person you are going to send it. So you have to customize it to the user that is going to look at it. So, but the other thing that I really love portfolio is that the more you do portfolios, the more you add projects, the more you will know also about yourself. So it's a way to, it's a tool also for yourself, is not for the others, to understand how you produce work. So it's, for me, has always been an important tool to understand the way I was designing and the way I was approaching design. As we said, to be a winner, I mean, to have a winning portfolio, both in education than in work, the most important qualities are uniqueness, as we said, the care that you are gonna show in the project that you do, in the portfolio, the clarity and the engagement. So the uniqueness means that you have to dress your portfolio as you would dress yourself for an important date. So you have to be yourself with your creativity and also the aesthetic that you think is defining yourself. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. So even if I will show you also some templates, remember that even when you use templates, that is okay to do, and you can get inspiration from many templates, you have to find the colors that maybe define you better, okay? So always think that yourself, defining yourself is an important matter. So when we talk about care, it means also that this person, for instance, has been making a GIF, an animated GIF to represent itself. So he was caring about his portfolio, and also he wanted to express a bit of humorism. So you see that you can express yourself in many different ways. You have to be really clear, and I will show you later. You have to take very little, you have to impress people in a very short time. So you have to be very clear with your description. And also, of course, you have to engage us. So remember that we see many portfolios, and you need to stand out. You need to have a great cover so that we will remember you, we will remember your work, we will remember the way you describe yourself. So this is very important. Of course, when you send the portfolio, you also have to be very, very careful in defining a correct CV and also presenting the right mail that is introducing the portfolio. So, and also something else that we are going to approach is also remember that you can find inspiration also on portfolio that are already online. And so not printed portfolio, but digital portfolio that we can find in many platforms. When I was talking about the letter that you normally send, be very careful also on this letter, because normally what you need to say is very simple. You have to say that you are a student, that you are very curious, that you really would like to learn more and more, and that you find in the school you want to apply the right place for you. So you don't have to fake, but you have to really be very genuine in saying that you really would like to grow your creativity inside the school, for instance, in this case. And also you can say something about yourself. You can say that you don't have much experience in this field, but you really feel passionate about fashion design, for instance. You never did any job about it, but you really would like to start this discipline. So pay attention also on this part of the application in general, because it's very important. And normally this is part of the short bio that you introduce also in the CV. So I'm just saying that it's not something so difficult to write, but it needs to express a little bit of yourself and your aspiration. Normally, a portfolio is made in this schematic way. You have a cover where I would suggest to impress, but it could be only plain color. I will show you some examples. Then you have a second or a third page where you will have the profile photo, your profile photo, and a short description. And then normally you place your CV, so the studies that you are attending, and also if you did some work, so the stage you may have done, or also the contacts and the hobbies, your interests, and I'll show you later. So you normally present your CV inside the portfolio. And then you have a selection of projects. As said before, if you have a project assignment, it will be only one project and you can just develop that. If you have many projects to show, just select the best ones. This is my suggestion. Normally, when you show a project, the most important thing to say are these main questions, no? Who did the project? When was done? Why did you do it? So the concept behind it, what is about, and where is located. Normally, when we present a project, you will see also in the example I show you, you don't show the final result, but you also show the process. So in this case, you see that I wrote inspirational reference brief. And so this is normally what you show first, and then you show the final design. So this is something that we normally would call it a scheme. Do you need to translate or not? No. Okay, so I proceed. Okay, so this is just a very graphic image in order to let you know that it's very important that your contacts are very clear, that your introduction is clear, as we said, is like what you normally say also in the motivational letter. The skills can be defined in hard skills and soft skills. Maybe hard skills can be the softwares that you can use. Soft skills can be your ability to work in team or to be very independent, to be a leader, or maybe to be able to work with handcraft tools. So you can have different skills. And so you have many opportunities to show them. Then talk about the languages and your work experience if you have. Education and hobbies. Even the hobbies are normally important because they can create anyway an idea of yourself. So maybe instead of saying, I like traveling, it's better to say traveling, hiking in the mountains, or going to the seaside. So you are expressing a little bit more about yourself. Don't just say maybe I like reading, but maybe it's more interesting to say I like reading adventures book. Just give some indication about your personality. This is always something more human, so it's not about your talent, but it's telling something more about yourself. And the reason I chose this picture is also to impress you with a picture that is not the usual picture that you normally find on portfolio, but this is a way to be remembered, okay? So this can be also fun. Here you see another profile photo. It's good to create a profile photo. Even if you're shy, you can also, cover your photo with a bit of lettering. So remember that we are in a creative field, and you can also use a photo with you can also use Instagram filters maybe, but remember that we want to look at you, and we just this is something where you can also create something creative. Here you see some example of CV. These are professional CV. This is, as you can see, they are black and white. This CV works more on the typography and also on some copywriting. So this is quite nice because it's also using a bit of humor, off work instead of interest, and not my cup of tea to say the things that he doesn't like to do. But this one, for instance, even if it's not so much color, it's not using so much color, you see it uses everything with a very much clarity. So we can see the title always in the same font and with the same boldness, and then we see the subtitle, and everything is very clear, very readable. And this is also important. So you don't have to go crazy to impress. You can also be very clear with your information. This is a good step. Of course, you can be also creative. And here you see some CV done by graphic designer, professional graphic designer. It's very useful to have icons, because even icons can speed up the understanding of all your skills. But even this attitude is very creative and very nice. So I'm just showing this to give you an idea of what professional graphic designer will supply. Even in this case, something very useful and that I would suggest you to do is, if you have, you see here skills, and then if you do these bars here, these icons, you can use this in order to show which are the programs you prefer to use. And this is quite useful, because you can say, I use very little of the program, but at least you tried. So please mention it anyway, even if it's the first time. And of course, you can always change the position of the information that you place. If you think you're really cool, you're really strong with your software skills, you can place them at the very beginning. Or if you think you're not so good, maybe you place that at the very end. So you're very free to present a creative CV inside your portfolio as it's telling you in the best way, okay? Now, just going very fast to the portfolio printed. Of course, the printed portfolio is always another great occasion to be in front of a person, but is not this the case. But we are saying that anyway, even when you print a portfolio, you can be creative. And for instance, this, I really like this one, because instead of making a normal booklet, he has been only showing the 5 projects he really liked. So this was quite intriguing. Of course, we are talking about a digital portfolio, and this is what we are focusing on, because it's updatable, it's shareable, it's responsive, and it can be online 24 hours. And we are showing you some platform you can use in order to take inspiration, to get inspiration from, but also platform where you can upload your portfolio as well. And this can be very handy. So the platform we will suggest is Issue. Issue is a platform where you can find many portfolios from creative designer, and you can find inspiration. So you really find many, and you can flip through it, and it's very useful. You can also upload your portfolio in the future or whenever you feel ready, and you can keep updating it. So, and the idea is that it makes the flipping very, very nice. This is why Issue is one of the most influent platform about it. And you can also create stories with it. There is another software that is a Flip HTML5. And even in this case, you can find many portfolio to take inspiration from. So this is another very useful tool. Another tool to find inspiration is to look at design professionals that are already using Instagram. For instance, Hey Studio is a graphic design studio. And as you can see, they use the stories to divide their portfolio. It's like home, who we are, portfolio, the projects. So remember that the Instagram can be also a place where you will start placing your work and where you can also be found. my suggestions about portfolio is to really take inspiration from contemporary languages, to use all the skills you have. So maybe you're good in sketching, so you can use a bit of sketching, a bit of photo montage, a bit of animated GIF if you have, and you have to use the tools you feel more comfortable with. So nobody is asking you to use a specific tool to produce the portfolio. Use any tool that you find the most suitable. You have to remember that in general, a portfolio gets seen in very, very short time, in 1 minute, less than 1 minute. So you have to be very effective and very clear. Concentrate on the cover. It can be of many different ways, shameless, eccentric, minimal, bold, ironic. I will show you some. So as we buy magazine, we would like to buy your portfolio. So remember that is a great occasion to do a good cover. The most important thing is to keep the cover in line with the content. So let's say if I'm very minimal, like this one, also inside, I will keep some of the colors I'm using in the cover. So try to keep some consistency in the portfolio. The projects don't need to be in a chronological order, but just focus on a selection of the project. So this selection should have probably the first one and the last one as the best one. So the first impression, the last impression, and then inside some other projects, but just select them. They can be from the school, from the professional work, but also personal work. Sometimes we can be passionate about photography. Okay, let's not put all the photographs we did, but only the most significant. So remember that you can also bring some personal work. Don't show only final design, and this is very important also for your assignment, but also the creative projects, the creative process. Sometimes the solution is a simple solution. This was an installation that I did. This was the conceptual idea at the beginning. Then I show different sketches, and this is normal for any creative. Try to find the solution. And then only at the end, after showing some other presentation, I show the final photo, okay? So it's very important that even if we don't do the project, we show the various solutions that we have been looking at before arriving to the final work. So these are some, just some projects. This was the design. This is the conceptual photo, and this is the final project. So even if I wouldn't have done the project, I still have design images to show, okay? So sometimes we don't build the projects, but we still can sell the project as it has been built. Or sometimes it's also useful to show the progression of the installation. If you do works like this, or if you are producing a design work for fashion design, also the progression of the fabrication. So normally we have different projects and we have to create a visual link. The visual link is normally done by the background color, the font, the layout, and the infographic that we keep during the whole portfolio. So we need to find our unique style, but then we need also to provide all the contents. It's very important to put the credits. So even if you did a very small part of this job, if you put the credits of all the team that has been working on it, you can still show the projects. And this is something very professional to do. So this, I'm talking about the people that will apply for master. We expect you to be professional on this case. And of course, as I said at the beginning, you also have to show in a good way the hierarchy so that everything can be read in a very short time. So first we read this, then we read this, then we read this, and then we read this. This is just the basic of graphic design, but it's important to keep it in mind. Find a specific font that maybe is the most unique, and you use it only for the titles, and then a very basic font. For basic, I mean a very clear font for the contents. Be very careful with the images. They need to be of a higher resolution. if you have problems with higher resolution, sometimes it's good to change the photo into black and white so they still look good without having the problems of resolution. And or otherwise you can change it into one specific color. So this is a sort of trick that we might use when we don't have good photos. Here I will show you some portfolio because I know that we have not so much time, but for instance, these are just some templates that you will find on Issue. You see, this is one portfolio. As I said, you have a CV, normally in the first pages, and then you normally have a table of content where you select some words, and then you have the words description, and then full pages with the work done. As we said, and as we'll see later, this is not the way I said to you. Normally we will have conceptual photo or sketches and then the final work. Okay, so this is very important to show the progression. Here you see that the fonts and this idea of the square keeps repeating for each project. So this is the idea I was saying. If you find the color, you find fonts that you believe they can work well with your work, you can use the color to combine the whole portfolio. And then at the end, remember to write your contacts. And and normally we say thank you because people has been reading the portfolio. So that's another trick, not a trick, but a suggestion I will give you. This is another portfolio just to show you that sometimes you choose a symbol that can be, maybe I wouldn't understand it from the start, but then inside, again, here you have a short description. This is too long. So remember that it's better to have it half so we can actually read it. This is a bit complicated as a CV. So to me, it's not the perfect CV, but this is a nice way to show the contents of the portfolio. So here you see all the projects that he's going to display. This one I like because it's these are the, let's say, the people this guy was inspired by. So when we are very young, maybe we didn't do enough work, we didn't do enough project, but we can still talk about ourselves and our aspiration, showing somebody that we really would like to get empowerment from. So this image was anyway interesting because it was saying something about this guy. Then you see that every project has got, again, the same symbol that we saw at the beginning, and then inspiration photographs, and then the project. Okay, then we go to another, and sketches, as we said before. No? So in black and white, they can be really good. Then we have another project. We recognize, again, the same symbol with different color, inspirational photographs, and then the design. So this is normally the way we act with design. We can have different styles. For instance, this girl, she's an interior designer. She was an illustrator. So she has been displaying the portfolio like this. It's a bit complicated to read, this lettering, but anyway, is very unique in the way that she's displaying her passion for illustration. So every project is introduced by a description like this and an illustration by her. So this is a way to be remembered anyway, because even if she's an interior designer, she wanted to show also these skills. Here you see another one. This one I really like because as you see, we enter, there is an exclamation about how he considered creativity, what he considers creativity. And then what I really like is that the photo he put, even if it's half, the green that we can see in the background is the same green that comes from his eye. So he photoshopped the eye, finding this green, and then is the same green that we see in the cover. So it's something that I didn't recognize at the very beginning, but I find it quite nice. Here you see the description, the icons that says when he was born and the educational path, the languages, and then the skills. This is very simple, but very effective. Here you see the way he described the selection of his project. And then here we see the cover of a project. And then this is the inside of a project. So anyway, he kept this color as the main color for the whole portfolio. This one I really like. It's just, again, is a bit interesting because she's not showing the whole face, but she's introducing two diagonals in her photograph. And then inside, she describes a bit about herself, and also she displays her photo at again. And then it's the same attitude that she's going to use with the rest of the portfolio. So she's a fashion designer. She will act like this in the whole portfolio. Urban Wonderland is the title, the moment she did it, first sketch. And then inside, we see the inspirational photo, the silhouette, the design she did, and then the palette, the color palette. When we see another project, you see that she used the same system, a title, again, the figure with these different cuts, and then inspirational photo, and again, her final design. So here you see the care that she put on the portfolio. So even if maybe I might say, I like this dress or not, it doesn't matter. I can see that she's very passionate about the design work because she's been really putting a lot of care in addressing this information. And here you see other photos still with the same idea. This is another portfolio, can be also fun to have your face covered just on the cover, then you have to show it off. But then inside here, you can see that she wants to be part of the fashion design system, and she already dressed her design as a fashion designer already, and a specific designer in communication and styling. So you can already say many things by the way you dress your portfolio. This is another idea, a diagonal in the middle of the page. This can be just an inspiration for you. This is another portfolio. I find it quite nice. She is a very good photo, very smiley and very confident at the same time, a bit of description about herself. And then we see another photo, more professional, but still very nice, very natural. And this is the CV that she supplied. And then inside we see the selection of the work that she's going to display. And then this is the way she displayed the work. These are only inspirational conceptual photo, the title, the description, and then the photograph of the final object. She's a designer for jewelry. So these are only some inspirational portfolio that can give you the idea of this process, not showing only the final work, but also the thinking behind every project. This is a more professional portfolio. You see a professional photo, the skills, the software she can use. You don't need to put your social network personal address, but only put the professional one if you have, otherwise leave it with your mail. And then here, remember that if you win some certificate or awards, you should also supply this information, is also important. Here you see that the green is the color she chose, and she also used the here for the titles. And at the end, as you can see, she also said, thank you. This is another style portfolio with the black. I wouldn't suggest the black because it's very difficult to adjust the photos in it. Sometimes it's just, you have to be quite expert. But anyway, it's a very interesting portfolio as well. This one is very funny because he's a professional graphic designer, and what he shows is like he's pretending he's doing everything against the rooms. So you can see the cut areas that normally then don't get printed, and then also you don't even read the whole portfolio because it's misleading. But this is very intriguing because it's very strong, very graphic, and so of course has been done by a graphic designer, by expert. But you see the colors that he has been using are only three: the red, the blue, and this pale pink. Okay, so this is to say that is really the color that normally define your project, and also the way you use the fonts. Okay. And this one, again, is quite unique because she decided to have don't describe the portfolio as portfolio, and she said book. That normally is the way we say portfolio in UK. Now, sometimes we can use this word. And so she said, Carrie Stewart decided to have her name inside this blue dot. And then you can see her here. So she's a bit, we can see it's quite intriguing. I want to know more. So I will read this, even if it's very long, probably just the first part. And then she used the same two discs to describe every project. So really, everybody can impress, no, with the cover, even describing the thing that he likes to do. So in this case, Marco Gabrielli was saying, I like doing exhibit, shop, urban, interior design, product design, rendering, model. So this is another way to be very very graphic at the very beginning, and then at the end only with the main. And even this one was quite nice. That is very professional. Something I like of this was that when he talked about himself, he put a photo of himself also doing the sports. So sometimes can be also nice if you have a professional CV to also show a bit of yourself off work. This one is another cover, and here you see a big photo, but very not so bright that it gets in the background. And so even this is quite interesting. And then she opened up what you saw at the very beginning, this form, into the layers that describes the pages. It's a bit complicated, but at least it's very connected with the cover. So this is a nice choice. You can find the style that you want. These are very crazy, very unique, but you can also get inspiration from all the platforms that are already online. So of course, it depends how many projects you want to show. But in this case, for instance, this girl also decided to present a portfolio, but along with the portfolio, she decided to make also a video. So now everybody knows what is Instagram, and we can do stories on Instagram. So why not think that you can also do a presentation story on yourself on Instagram? And this could be a new way to present yourself. But that can need to be along a professional portfolio, of course. But just think that you can find inspiration of who is using different tools. So this was the portfolio of this girl that was also showing what she thought about creative work through some postcards. And I will end saying that if you never did a portfolio, if you're not a graphic designer, if you're a student, if you're young, and you never approached a CV, you can use Canva. And Canva is really useful tool. You can inscribe for free. And then when you are in Canva, you can digit CV or portfolio, and you will find the portfolio you like. So when you see the portfolio, you can really add information. You can write the naming, and then you can also move some of the tools around. So it's very, very simple to use, and you can save it as a PDF. So you find your portfolio here, the portfolio that is more about your style. And then when you open it, you will see a different page. You just have to add your photo and the project that you like. And so it's very easy, and it's very, very helpful. You can do the same with the CV. So even the CV, you can find CVs, you choose one, and then you can write everything on it. So I would recommend that. As well, I will recommend finding the icons on other platforms. For instance, there is, this one is Neon Project that is about the icons. Neon Project is the first one. And you can find other platforms that are for other images that you can use in the portfolio. So you can really find inspiration on many platforms. Behance is another one that is for professional creatives. And even here, you can find many, many beautiful portfolios. And when you enter, when you find also a good designer for the portfolio, you might enter and see all their work here. And in fact, when you start having good projects, the perfect spot to be is also Behance, because you can display all your projects like a portfolio. So here you see some example. And then, of course, there are many other ways to have an online portfolio, but this is not the case. But in the future, you might want to also do a portfolio or a website that is done for free, using different templates and then customizing them. So to close, I just would like to say that making a portfolio is very hard. So we know it's a hard job at the beginning, most of all, but then is a way to show your unique persona, and also to start understanding the way you like to draw, to paint, to do fashion design, to illustrate, or anything else. So remember that is very useful also for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Francesca. Ако имате някакви въпроси, ще се радваме да ги получим в чат секцията. Виждам, че вече има такива. Йоана Митева пита дали портфолиото трябва да бъде дигитално, като сайт или презентация. Надявам се да получи отговор в презентацията на Франческа. Ladies, we have a question about the portfolio, if it should be digital, a site or presentation, or on paper, and I believe Francesca already replied to this one. Okay.
Yes, I think so.
So there is a question about the scholarship. So Marta, if you can join.
Of course, I'm here.
Do you see the question in the chat? It's from Maria.
Yes, perfect. So Maria is asking, can we present a designer that is not in our field of interest, but present their work through our field? In my case, fashion designer, and their work presented through the lens of graphic design. Well, actually, yes, Maria. So the general guideline is to, let's say, to choose a designer that is related to your field of study, where you want to, the course that you want to apply for, because the field of design is huge. So we suggest focusing on the specific subfield, let's say, where you want to start your studies and your career. But of course, if it's something related, I mean, if you are interested, if you want to apply for fashion design and you want to, no, actually I think it's the reverse. If you want to apply for graphic design, but you are so passionate and you find a good example of a fashion designer, but present their work through the lens of graphic design, I think it's perfectly suitable as well. The important thing is that there must be a connection between what you are presenting and what you are applying for. And you must be very good at commenting and explaining which this connection is.
Until we wait for other questions, I will just share the information about the possibility to secure an individual meeting with you. За тези, които в момента са в 12-ти клас и предстои кандидатстване, ще имате възможност да запазите индивидуална среща с Марта в рамките на 30 минути, като ще получите до края на седмицата имейл с линк, с който да запазите своя слот с нея. Идеята на тази индивидуална среща е да обсъдите възможностите за креативното ви представяне, ако вече сте подготвили своя проект, портфолио, да може да го обсъдите и тя да даде нейни предложения, ако има нужда от някакви корекции. Така че ще се радваме, ако имате желание и възможност да се включите в такава индивидуална среща. There is another question.
Yes, I see it. So they're asking us if they need to present a portfolio for the bachelor's course, Fashion Stylist and Communication. Yes, actually, Fashion Stylist is one of our bachelor's courses offered in Italy. And for the application, you are required to present a portfolio or, since you're applying in Italy, even a project assignment. But yes, as a general rule, yes, for all the bachelor's degree courses offered in Italy, you need to develop and present a portfolio. I see a few other questions coming. Zlatka is asking if we offer any online preparatory courses. So actually, no, we don't offer these kinds of courses, but it's important to know that our undergraduate courses start from scratch, okay? From an introductory level. So our applicants are not required to have already obtained knowledge or have specific technical skills in design. So don't worry if it is, if it's your concern, but you can definitely, let's say, also book a one-to-one session with us so that if you have doubts about how to realize a portfolio, we can help you. But in general terms, you can apply directly for our undergraduate courses without taking any specific preparatory course.
Marta, there is another question in the Q&A section, not in the chat. So if one wins a scholarship from the competition, should they immediately send their portfolio as part of the enrollment, 3 to 5 days as said in the brief?
Okay, well, actually, we suggest submitting your portfolio. So besides the scholarship competition, submitting your own portfolio during the application, okay? So together, when you submit the portfolio for the scholarship, you also submit the other kind of portfolio. Why? Because it will be evaluated as well during your, let's say, your application. Of course, you will be mainly evaluated on the scholarship competition for the scholarship, but we also need to verify if you are eligible candidate for the course in general terms. So submitting your portfolio on that occasion will definitely give, a plus to the committee to verify your actual eligibility for the course.
There is another question in the Q&A section about the summer courses. If a student would like to apply, what are the requirements, deadlines?
Great. So actually for the summer courses, the requirements are the general ones that we have mentioned in the beginning. So submitting a letter of motivation, proving a B2 English language level, because summer courses are offered in English language. Most of the summer courses are introductory. So no other special requirements are needed to be presented. A few summer courses actually are started at an advanced level. So in that case, you will need to present also a portfolio and a curriculum vitae. Again, depending on the kind of the area that you're interested in, we will help you identifying the correct course and the correct requirements. But in general terms, these are the application documents required. And as regards the timing, you can start your application whenever you want. taking into consideration that summer courses usually start either in the end of June or in July. So we suggest applying in the winter or in the early spring.
I don't see any more questions, but maybe we can advise on the forthcoming events, like the open day.
Definitely, yes. Thank you, Petja, for reminding us. In a few weeks, actually, it will be the week from the 13th of December until the 18th. We will have the online open days dedicated to undergraduate courses in Italy. So I think that most of you will be interested in that. So it will be a great occasion to go more in depth in the specific courses that you are interested in, because there will be a general presentation about the IED academic offer, and again, some information about the scholarship competition. And then we will have specific workshops dedicated to each single undergraduate course. So interior design, product design, fashion design, and so on. You need to see the program and register online on our website. But again, you can rely on the help of Skylines, and they will help you register for the event. And yes, I see other questions that I can answer to. If this kind of scholarship competition is present every year, yes, definitely. And it's very important for the students who are still in 11th grade or maybe in 10th grade. So now you can read the brief for this year. You have heard very useful information, but you will be able to apply when you are in the final year. But don't worry, every year we launch this kind of competition. It's something that will, it's not going to change. And the time of the year, usually it's this one, okay? So this time of next year, there will be the opportunity for the following academic year.
So you suggest the students in 10th and 11th grade to also work on this project?
Yes, actually, I would suggest so, and take advantage of this opportunity, of the fact that they listened to this presentation, and the possibility that we give to schedule one-to-one sessions, so that you can already have a kind of feedback from us. You can start, putting your ideas on the table and start developing a portfolio that will be, required in the future, in the near future, yeah.
Okay, thank you. If there are other questions, let me see in the Q&A. No.
Look as well. No.
So I will just join in Bulgarian as well to sum up the information we just gave to the students and the possibilities to meet you. And we'll be back with you in a minute. Както разбрахте, съвсем скоро след тази презентация в рамките на тази седмица ще получите имейл с информация за Istituto Europeo di Design, за активната стипендия, която има в момента, възможностите да се запишете с отстъпка, както и линк за запазване на индивидуална среща с Марта във връзка с вашето креативно представяне, портфолио или проект. Разбира се, ако имате каквито и да е други въпроси от към кандидат-студентския процес, документите, които се изготвят за намаляване на таксата за обучение или друга практична информация ви е нужна, ние сме на среща от Skylines и ще се радваме да помогнем с всички въпроси, които имате. I believe there are no more questions. So we are here.
Yes, and thank you very much to, first of all, to Francesca for her availability and the great presentation. I believe it was very useful for all our audience. Thank you very much to Petja and the whole Skylines team for organizing such a great meeting. And thank you, last but not least, to all of our participants. We hope it was useful. We hope to see you around, taking advantage of the next few opportunities, our appointments. And thank you for participating today, for engaging with us. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you very much, Marta.
Thank you.
Thank you, Франческа. Благодарим на всички за отделеното време. Надявам се презентацията да е била интересна и полезна и оставаме на разположение за вашите въпроси. Лека вечер!